You ever bite into a favorite chocolate and think, did my taste buds break, or did the bar change? You're not imagining it. Today, we're pulling the wrapper off 8 big brands and the quiet recipe tweaks hiding behind the same old logos. Here's the deal: thinner coatings, cheaper oils instead of cocoa butter, faster tempering. Small moves that shift, snap, melt, and finish.
And found the ones featuring dark chocolate were most troublesome. Consumer Reports tested 48 chocolate products: dark chocolate bars, milk chocolate bars, chocolate chips, cocoa powder, hot chocolate mixes, and brownie and cake mixes.
By the end, you'll know what to look for on the label and in the bite, so you can stop paying for nostalgia and start choosing chocolate that still tastes like chocolate. If your favorite bar now melts like a candle and finishes like chalk, there's a quiet swap hiding in plain sight. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video.
There are no federal limits for the amount of lead and cadmium most foods can contain, but one state does set its own limit on certain foods.
Extra creamy dark chocolate, toffee crunch, sea salt, mint, sea salt and caramel.
Let's start with the trick that makes your tongue feel duped. The logo stays, the fat changes. When cocoa butter steps out and cheaper vegetable oils step in, the whole bite shifts. You get a waxy mouthfeel, a melt that slides into grease, and a finish that dies early. It looks like the same bar you grew up with. It just doesn't act like it. You remember the good signs.
This is the best and worst chocolate that you can buy. These are more of your normal options, but we can do better than that. We all know that most chocolate and candy is not looked at as being healthy, but there are a few good options.
A clean snap, a glossy face without that dull gray bloom, a bar that held its line at room temp. Now it feels soft in the hand and thin on the tongue. The label still says chocolate, but the bite tells you someone cut a corner. Hershey's is the easy lens here. Swap cocoa butter for a blend with palm or soy, and you lose the neat dissolve at body heat. Cocoa butter melts away right around mouth temp, so the flavor arrives quick and smooth.
And it also definitely tastes better than Hershey's. And it tastes better than, I'm trying to think of all like the quote-unquote luxury chocolate.
As we expected, dark chocolates tended to have higher levels of heavy metals than milk chocolate.
It has like the creamier chocolate inside of the white chocolate, but I like the regular chocolate bars.
Mixed oils hang back. Instead of vanishing, they smear. It's like wiping a window with oil instead of water. The view is there, but it is streaked. The science is not a mystery. Cocoa butter forms a specific crystal form when tempered right, the tight pattern that gives snap and sheen. That lattice is picky about temperature, which is why careful tempering matters.
In fact, this As You So report that tested 469 cocoa products indicates that high lead and cadmium levels in many chocolate foods is unavoidable. Dark chocolate is packed full of antioxidants and anti-inflammatories with multiple health benefits. Dark chocolate, is it a superfood or super source of lead and cadmium?
Speed up the line, shorten the tempering and cooling windows, and you grow less stable crystals. The surface gets dull. The bite gets soft. The snap turns into a bend. Now let's move on to the crunch bar problem. When the coating gets thinner, the crisp pieces get smaller, and the cooling runs faster, the balance tilts. You taste more sugar and less cocoa. The crunch still talks, but the chocolate stops leading.
Favorite treat with a potentially dark side, and no, we aren't talking about its hue.
It used to only actually be one bar, but now they chopped up the bar and they have them individually wrapped into like 5 or 6 pieces.
Consumer Reports scientists used the California standards when measuring heavy metal content in chocolate, and we made our own assessments for consumers.
It is a texture show without the deep note that used to anchor it. Cutting cocoa solids makes it worse. Those solids carry aroma. They are the reason a square can perfume your mouth after the swallow. Reduce them, shift the temper curve to save seconds, and you mute the cocoa. The nose gets quiet. The aftertaste fades before the next bite lands. You see the same tells across the aisle. Reese's cups run oilier on the fingers, and the peanut center leans pasty instead of crumbly. That comes from stabilizers and tweaked oil blends built to sit longer on shelves. Milky Way tastes lighter, not because it's airy, but because the chocolate layer has less to say. Butterfinger goes denser in the center, and the melt feels more like grit than glass. M&M's shells trend thinner, the chocolate inside softening faster and smearing rather than snapping under the shell. Baby Ruth reads sweeter with a flatter finish when the cocoa takes a back seat. Three Musketeers turns into foam wrapped in a gloss that won't quite polish, and the bar vanishes without leaving that cocoa echo. The real kicker is how small the moves are. A shift in fat type here, a shaved temper time there, a thinner layer over crisp bits. None of it screams from the wrapper. All of it lands in your mouth. You pay for structure you can't see. The crystal form, the solid-to-melt handoff, the way the fat cleans the palate instead of coating it like balm.
Now my personal favorite is Hue Chocolate. Again, quality ingredients and tastes amazing. You want to be shooting for dark chocolate, and this is a great brand that has lower sugar and great ingredients.
Think of cocoa butter like a key cut to one lock. Hit the right temperatures and you get the tight fit, snap, shine, clean melt. Swap in mixed oils and you're using a master key that opens a lot of doors but never quite clicks.
How is this possible for a 100% organic product like this? Lead makes its way into the cacao after harvesting, predominantly during the drying and handling of these wet, sticky beans. But are these health benefits canceled by the high levels of lead and cadmium found in many of our favorite dark chocolate products? Cadmium is taken up from the soil by the roots of the cacao tree.
Turns. It works. It just wiggles in the lock. So no, it is not your taste buds. It is the process. Cheaper fats bend the melt. Stabilizers bulk the texture. Rush tempering dulls the snap and gloss. That's why the nostalgia tastes off even when the wrapper hasn't changed.
Dark chocolate is the healthiest type of chocolate because it has lower amounts of sugar but higher amounts of flavanols, which are great for the heart and the brain. Still better than white chocolate because white chocolate doesn't actually contain any chocolate at all. Milk chocolate isn't as good as dark chocolate because milk chocolate tends to have more sugar and a lower amount of those beneficial flavanols.
Now let's turn that frustration into a checklist you can use at the shelf and in the first bite. The name on the wrapper stayed. The chemistry inside didn't. Your best lie detectors are simple. Texture, snap, finish. If the bar bends, sheds grease, or fades fast, it's telling you what changed. Let's start with the label.
Ingest a lower percentage cocoa products. Moderation: instead of eating half of a full-size 70-gram bar, eat a quarter bar or less, about 15 grams a day. Choose products that source their cocoa from West Africa, which can have 10 times less cadmium levels.
Look for cocoa butter first. Watch for vegetable oil blends. Then check the build. A thinner shell, a faster, greasier melt, and a dull aftertaste are red flags. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still swears the recipe is the same. You can't control the factory. You can control your cart. Buy chocolate that behaves like chocolate.